Sup, sup. 6 o'clock on the West Coast, aka the West Coast. In Texas, Central Standard Time, it's 8 p.m. And on the East Coast, where I was born out of Jersey, it's 9 p.m. Welcome to the Marcus Love Experience. In this episode, we're going to be interviewing a Mr. Blake Hutchinson out of Texas. And this is my first live stream of Writer's Block. It's going to be a weekly program, centralized, basically focusing on published writers and aspiring writers, also filmmakers. This episode, thanks to all those who are joining in, it's brought to you by the Broken Ashy series. It's an ongoing saga of the international assassins and political corrupt politicians. I've been doing my little Broken Ashy thing for 2 years now, so that's who's basically sponsoring us tonight. So, like I said, before we bring on our author here, just let you guys know, we're gonna be right to the point as soon as he gets here. I'm gonna have a segment where you guys can ask questions, either through the live stream or I've sent out the link. If you need the link, I'll have a total of 10, including 4 in the waiting room. But I can have total of 6 of us on at one time, including the writer and myself. So basically 4 of you guys can get in. So if you want the link, just in the live stream, just press 5, and I know that you want to be in the link. First come, first serve. Okay? Let me see if we got Blake on here.
I'm here.
You here? I see you there, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Blake, thanks for coming on, man.
But oh well.
Did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about, you're my first writers on Writer's Block, and all the people I had lined up, I didn't even know that you wrote books, man. I know you're in the Facebook group that we both belong to, but I had no idea you were an author, man. So people watching, just kind of introduce yourself and kind of like just chill out. Tell them the title of your book, what's it about?
Yeah, I'm say I live in Texas. I mean, I've lived here, all my life, and I used to write like song lyrics all the time, and when I was learning languages, to write to women overseas, you know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, I have a lot of experience with writing, and I've always thought about writing books, and a plausible title would be something like 88 days in Medellin, because I stay there for just under the 90 days that they allow, so before you your tourist visa. Yeah,
that's a nice title, man.
Yeah.
Sort of like so is that a working title? Or is that the one that you just decided on altogether?
Yeah, it's a working title. I mean, I may decide just to keep that as a title.
I like it, man. So tell us, basically loosely, what's it about?
Well, it's my experience in Medellin. I mean, a few years ago, I was there for almost 3 months, and
wow.
It's going to be I'm going to have like different chapters. I was thinking about doing it as a diary or something, but I think I'm just going to go by topic.
So, how many formats are you going to have it in? You going to have it in ebook, paperback, or hardcover?
It's gonna be an ebook. I'll probably do that on Kindle. I mean, I guess I could always have it on something else, maybe like a Crate Space if they still exist. Like for anybody who wants a physical title, but for the most part, it's gonna be an ebook.
Awesome.
An Amazon ebook. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I remember the first days I had my first book out. Way back in 2004, before the ebooks were this popular, and I remember how exciting it was. But I know what I want before we get too much into it. So this will be your first joint you're writing here, right?
Right. For first book that I author and publish.
So that's why I was letting everybody know. Most people out here now are self-publishing. Um, did you have any qualms about doing it yourself, or do you want like a standard publisher? Because nowadays, from my own experience, a lot of the mainstream publishers, they want to see what you can do on your own. For us, like
Right.
if you can do your own marketing, if you can do your own promotion and push the sales yourself, then maybe they'll come give you a
Right.
call.
Right.
They'll come holler at you. So you're doing the same thing a lot of us are doing now. You're just going to do the whole thing yourself, right?
Right, right. Basically, I mean, I'll probably publish it, through Amazon's like a KDP program, and I'd say, I know like HTML, so I could format the book if I want to, and I definitely plan on having an active the table of contents, and it's so you can just click on the link and go to the chapter instead of having to like scroll through everything, because that's one of the complaints a lot of people have about ebooks is a lot of them don't have an active table of contents.
Yeah, but you got yours, man.
Yeah.
Are you almost done with it now, or is it still a work in process?
I mean, basically, it's written. I just have to, divide it up into chapters, and then I'll probably, write it. Of course, as a writer, you're gonna have, that you like it. You'll look at it, and with the critical eye, you'll say, "Oh man, I got to fix that." Make it more readable.
You have fun with it, man. All I suggest is, and I'm not trying to say you didn't do it, but I'm saying if you haven't got an editor right now, at least get a proofreader, copy editor, proof that way. I remember the
Right.
first book I came out with, and it was in paperback, and just little mistakes like typing the word "the" more than once, just little things that your spell check will actually miss.
Right.
You know what? But those are the technical aspects. Most people listening, they just want to know more about you, the topic of your book.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Medellin in 88 days, my brother. We belong to several Facebook groups together, and it's
Right.
like
Right.
another interesting aspect is you and I belong to the Black Men's Optional also.
Right. Right.
And obviously,
Yeah. I
people
mean,
are
I'm
going to
not
look at
black. You can
you.
see.
They're going to say you're not black. You got to tell them you're very light skinned, lighter than me. So, kind of,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
do you think that that's going to impede you from getting your book sales out, or is it more just general on all men? That
It's basically gonna be all men. I mean,
Okay.
the first time I went overseas was but back 30 years ago. The first time I went overseas was I guess you really can't call it overseas, but in another country or abroad would be Mexico.
Okay.
That's my first time abroad. And as I say, you just I was there. I guess back into 2001, 2002. And
I think you froze up on the screen, but I'm guessing you know that I came back from the Holy Land of Brazil 2 weeks ago, right?
right. Oh
And your
yeah.
first time there was when?
I was back in 2001, 2002.
I know you love
Yeah.
it, man. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because I know you and I are in the same group, and I know you always talk about your travels, and you do speak a little Spanish, right?
Yeah, and Portuguese. Yeah.
And Portuguese. So I know you spent time in Brazil also. So when we told me about the
Yeah.
book, I don't know where you're going to incorporate all this different South American countries, or it's solely on Medellin.
I may say I may put like in the introduction I may put something about my my travels in general. And like I said, I mean I first went abroad, 30 years ago, and it's definitely different when you go to another country, and when you come back, you definitely don't look at this country the same way. That's for sure.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, how long did it take? How many countries you had to travel to before you realized that hey, America keeps you in a bubble, and America is actually just not the only place on earth? I mean, how many countries you had to travel to,
Right.
or was it just the first country that you went to in Mexico?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, Mexico. I mean, it's a lot like the States, but it's very different too. but definitely like going to Brazil. See that definitely made because Brazil is very different. When compared to when there's some things that are that are very similar, but there's a lot of things that that are different too.
For us, I know this is going to sound like a cliche, but well, you have to be motivated to write anything or anything that you set out to do, a goal. But for us, inspiration, what inspire you? If it's a woman from Mexico, experiences, something more personal. But if you don't mind me asking, what's the inspiration behind Medellin in 88 days?
The inspiration is basically to kind of let. I mean, it's not going to be a regular travel book, like folders or anything like that. I mean, and it's not going to be exactly a PUA type book like they'll teach you how to like pick up chicks. I mean, they'll all include a little bit of that too. It's just going to be about my experience mostly. And of course, if a place changes, so sometimes like when you write the book, so some things will probably be out of date, but I'm definitely thinking about doing something that can the test of time as far as general information.
So you was like we're talking about Forrest, your research for this, and like how many years in the making was this doing? Because you told me your first trip was 30 years ago. Between 30 years ago, that first Mexican trip where you first got out of the States up until now, when in between that time, when did it first hit you like, hey man, you know what, I got enough information here I want to share to men? I mean, when did it actually hit you that you actually wanted to do it?
About 2 years ago, after I came back, just have a travel log, something that kind of helps people because I'm in like other travel groups, expat groups, and a lot of times when people go into like a Colombian or Medellin expat, ask something, a serious question about like women or whatever, for example, and you have like a lot of trolls, laugh at them, and say, oh, you loser,
Don't I know it?
Yeah.
Now, you know what? Now, speaking of that, and I'm not going to divulge too much information about, more about your book, but when you talk about trolls, something, and you could correct me if you think I'm mistaken or if I'm flat out wrong. Sometimes people will say, like you said, the PUAs, acronym for pickup artists, or play for play or pay for play.
Right, yeah.
Or the more ghetto terminology, we like to say people going out mongering, or for as will your book have anything with that included?
I mean, it will. I mean, I'll advise about how to go about it, and my experience with it, both good and bad,
Well, let's get into that. I mean, how much you want to give off the book? How much is good and how much is bad? Let's start with the pros first.
Okay, if you're about the the pros, I mean, are you talking about the pros, the pay for play stuff?
The chapter in your book, yes. I mean, you tell us how much you want to tell us. You're the author. You tell us how much you want to tell us about that.
Well, the thing about the pay for play scene is a lot of people us, basically that's where a lot of prepagos, independent prostitutes, that's where they hang out. But they also have like sites where you can where they actually have their WhatsApp that message or call them or whatever, and and of course, I mean, I'm not going to go to the cons. I mean, I'm just going to leave that for the book itself.
Good answer. I don't want to answer any leading questions, brother Blake, but I would do the same thing.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, what? I'm giving them too much information. They can find out if they cop the book, man. Now, Forrest, I was asking you have like a certain date when you think that the book's going to be laid down, or what?
It's I'm gonna try to get it out by the summer, by the end of June. Yeah.
It's gonna be. Do you think it's just gonna be like are you gonna have like book parties for it? Any promotions that we need to know about, or?
Not really. I may promote it. Let's see, say it may, I don't know, maybe free for a couple of days or whatever. But you know, I don't want to be free for too long. Of course, I guess when you first put out a book, I mean, you can put it on for free for a while, and
Oh
that'll
yeah.
get it up. You know,
I can
but
talk
after,
to you off. I can talk to you offline about how to do that. I've had some experiences with that. Um, unless you want me to say it right now, would we offline to talk about it, or about
we
how?
can do it right now if you don't mind.
Yeah. Oh no, man. No, there's no problem. I mean, it's just like when you start doing that. Say if you want to have a free promotion, I know Amazon has that. Amazon Kindle. You can
Hmm.
do it for as long as you want, okay? But you just remember you have to watch it because, I mean, people are going to gravitate towards it. They want to borrow the book or download it for like a free sample to read it for free, just like going to a library. And depending on how many people borrow your book from the Amazon Kindle within the first 30 days, it's collectively with other authors how much their stuff's being downloaded and borrowed. You will get some money out of it. I can't promise how much you'll get, but since yours new
Right.
and you got a nice topic, I'm telling you, don't do it for too long because it will kind of taper off. So I can talk to you more offline about that, as far as the technical aspects of that. But if you're going to have your
Okay.
book go off for free for a while, don't do it in more than a month. Be It's come out in the summertime, so you're in Texas. You guys have huge Fourth of July celebrations down there. You can do it around the holidays. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And it just kind of meshes in. But just kind of watch it. Look at for 2-3 weeks, no more than a month, and then put your price on it. You
Right.
you have a really good topic. Don't underprice yourself. I see a lot of books out there for 99 cents. You can do that. You like I said, it tapers off quick. So
Right.
there's a lot of travel books out there. So, but you just say this is part autobiography and part how to the whole
Right. Right.
Medellin 88 days. So I'm trying to get more stuff out of you about the chapters, man. I mean, you're very tight lipped, more than me on it, man. So um, the P4P, you got a chapter on that. Okay. How about, since you're both versed in Spanish and Portuguese, anything on communicating with the ladies? Because I know when I was in Brazil with the BMO, the Black Man's Option crew,
Right.
a few guys actually lived there. I just like I met them, and it was fascinating talking to them, and they were conversing not just with women, but just ordering food, getting in a
Oh
taxi,
yeah.
an Uber. It kind of it obviously it helps. So in your book, do you have any way um, of explaining to how the brothers, when they go travel for the first time, like you did 30 years ago, how do they effectively communicate with these ladies and come up with a good how can I say it in a PG way? A good outcome for the evening.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, a lot of language books nowadays don't really have, they don't really teach you the alphabet. You
Okay.
know, so some make that a lot like if a lady asks you, well, what's your name or whatever, you say it, and if it's one that's not a common Spanish or Portuguese name, they'll say, how do you say, how do you write it? Como se escreve? Como se escreve? Then you have to do like A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie in their language.
You even got the accent down, man. So what did you just say?
Yeah, como se escreve? That's Portuguese for how do you write it. Spanish is como se escribe. You know?
Okay, so I'm gonna have a
Yeah,
scenario. Let's say I'm a newbie. I've never traveled before. I got my passport for the first time. Just ignore the gray area. Just pretend I'm younger. And my
yeah, me
first time
too.
going to Colombia or no, let's keep it recent. Rio, Brazil. You you're an OG, you're a vet, traveling, and you're gonna show me how to speak to these women. You know, what would your first tips like? I don't know if you have this in the book, but how would you explain me how to speak to them? Because I don't know any Portuguese. That part's true. But how would you have a newbie like me go in there and not step on my foot?
Right, right. Basically, I mean, what you say like in Brazil is oi. You approach a girl where it says, oi, onde some place, whatever. Like onde fica is like, where is. So onde fica o hotel. Where's the hotel, or a place name or something, and say Marcus, and then
Okay.
so say, to say like, what's your name, is like, qual é seu nome? Qual é o seu nome? Or just qual é o seu nome? And like, what's your name? And then you just have to try to do a conversation. Of course, I mean, you don't have to be fluent in Portuguese before you go to a place like Brazil, but you definitely want to have somewhat basics down, so you can just kind of communicate with them, and the rest of the language can come later. Because it takes about like 10,000 words to really get good at a language, and most people don't have that kind of time to. But if you get a few hundred words down, they'll definitely help when you go to a place like Brazil. And of course, the tourist places, you're going to have like women that speak English, but then again, sometimes the more English they speak, the more red flags pop up.
Now hold that thought.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna hold Brazil, but the red flags now, because the title of your book is 88 Days in Medellin, so the same rules applying to this scenario I gave you for Brazil. Is that same thing gonna apply about your book in Colombia? The same rules about those red flags? Tell us about those red flags.
Okay. If they speak English too much, they might have had like boyfriends from America, boyfriends from Europe.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is true, man, huh?
Yeah. I mean, if you know something of the language, I mean, you're definitely going to have access to more women, because most women in either country, the English, and they they could be pros, which is not always bad, but if you want to meet like regular chicks, and then knowing some of the language helps.
So do you discuss that in your book, Medellin in 88 Days, about distinguishing between a girl that's a regular citizen versus a pro?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, it's not a problem. I mean, like, of course, if so someone pops up, or a messenger or whatever says, hola baby, whatever.
I didn't get the last part. Your voice kind of bored. It's kind of going in and out. Saying if the lady comes up saying hola.
Yeah, like if say if a girlfriend befriends you from there, whatever, and the first thing she says to you is hola, she'll be like B just spelled out, and means like hi baby or whatever. Chances are she's a prostitute.
Chances are.
Yeah.
Now, how many? All right, now you and I have been conversing through the same travel groups that we belong to, and I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you mind discussing about some experiences you've had with women in Colombia that weren't pros but were just regular women that you have relationships with? Is it okay to ask about that?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, so I was, I was on the side, Colombian Cupid, and I did, meet a lot of girls, but sometimes, I mean, it can be hard to tell the difference between, who's sincere and who's in it for, to use you like an ATM basically. So I'm definitely going.
Did that happen a whole bunch to you there? Did it happen often? Because I know you've traveled extensively to Brazil and Colombia. I've only been to Colombia one time, but I've known you've always talked about, because you're fluent in both Portuguese and Spanish. So if you go to Colombia, you've had some great experiences, and I'm trying to dig it out of you, Blake. I'm going to get it out of you.
I know.
Don't be shy now. That chair is
Yeah,
real
yeah.
comfortable, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I say a lot. I mean, in Colombia, I've only been to Medellin or whatever, and I mean, and you can, you can meet regular women, but you have to. I mean, you usually have to meet them offline. Like you have to actually go to places and meet them, like in the malls, on the street, and the trains and the train station, and so on. And it's different. I mean, it's different from Rio. I mean, Rio, I think that there's more of a hookup culture or whatever, where they don't mind. But in Medellin or whatever, in Colombia, they kind of want to, if you want a regular relationship, they kind of want to make sure that you stay there for a while. You know.
Can you go over that? So the book Medellin 88 Days is going to talk about a little bit of that, maybe.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Most definitely. And I've got to go over okay, because when I was there, I actually they did some posting in the BMO group, and I gotta go back and search for that, because people did ask questions, and I did answer them, and I got to go back and get those answers, that I gave them, and that way I can do.
Man, I hope you get this thing down and get it running this summer, because it sounds like it's going to be a really cool book, man. I mean, it's from what I can squeeze out of you.
Right, right.
I know you, as an author myself, I know you kind of clutch to it like it's a brand new baby, because it's your first book. So I can totally empathize with you. But as
Yeah, you just
far as
want to make sure you do it right,
I'm quite sure you did do it right, but it's like the experiences you have there, and um, what's your goal, or one of your goals about this book? What's the goal that you think this book's gonna do for people, for the male readers? Because I'm the title of it, it's for men, correct? For male
Right,
travelers.
right. I mean, women are definitely, welcome to read it. I mean, I think as a lot of the stuff I'll talk about applies to them too. But some things, I mean, are mostly for for males. Because I mean, I hate to say it, I say, but for a lot of men, that go over there, it's an adult Disneyland.
Disneyland for grown ass men.
Right,
Well, you know
right.
what? See, because I'm looking at it from a perspective. See, when I go travel, it's like sometimes I go solo. I went to Brazil, I went solo. But when I went to Medellin back in 2017, I had a girlfriend with me, and she spoke Spanish, and she's
Right.
fluent in it. So a lot of people would ask me, "Oh, Marcus, if you were there by yourself, what would go down?" And I'm like saying, I have eyes. I mean, they were beautiful women. I mean, the long jet
Hmm.
hair down to their butt. They were very friendly. I didn't sense any hostility. So I'm just like, I have to start saying allegedly, if I did do anything, if I didn't have a woman with me at the time, I think I would have had a ball down there. But as they say,
Oh yeah.
I brought sand to the beach, and I still had a great time. So do you think this book is mainly for guys who are single or guys who are in relationships? And be completely honest.
It's gonna be for more for single men, but at the same time, I definitely plan on putting some insight to the book for men that are looking for relationships with women down there.
Okay, man.
So,
Wait, you have you have a website or Facebook page? You want to hype your book up? You want to pitch it? You want to let the guys know how to get in contact with you? Why to wait for this book to come this summer?
yeah, at the time, I don't. I mean, I can I can put one up. I mean, it's not that hard.
No, brother, it ain't.
But yeah,
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 I'm pushing you to
yeah,
do it. I'm pushing you to do it.
yeah. Sometimes I need that push.
Soon as this interview is over, you supposed to get up and get back on it, Blake. Okay,
Right,
you
right.
got to,
Oh
man.
yeah.
You got to. So you have any words of wisdom to any aspiring writers out there, whether they be in the BMO group or just other brothers out there in YouTube land watching us, about if they want to be writers such as yourself?
Oh well, I mean, I guess as far as the technical part of it, I mean, you kind of want to break it down and let's say and think about what you want to talk about, because once you start writing, or the muse will take over,
The
and so
muse.
sometimes the muse,
I know.
MUSE,
I've had mine.
and
I've
yeah,
had several muses. Go on. I don't want to interrupt you though. Go ahead now.
right. So if you have like an outline and maybe like what you want to include in chapters or in the book, it can help you keep on track. I mean, the only thing is, I mean, I've had like English classes in high school and college where you
Mhm.
had to write reports, and I really don't want it to feel anything like that, except for
Of
the
course. Yeah.
except for the the parts where you're organized. That's the only thing that I want to take from those experiences from the past. So yeah.
You have anything else for us, Blake? I've held you up long enough, man. I mean, I've held you up for long enough. Did you have any other advice to give out or words of wisdom from author
Um,
to reader?
yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe at this time, I mean, I don't know if it's be the greatest time to travel because of the coronavirus and all that, but I mean,
Okay.
I think you have to be a little bit more careful than usual, but because of that, but at the same time, it might be a good time because the airlines will probably be lowering their the airfare,
They have.
and so
I've noticed that for the past
yeah.
week here.
Right,
It's been
right.
crazy prices. Some of the prices I've
Oh yeah,
seen. I mean, it's
yeah. I
like,
mean, yeah. First time I went to Brazil. I mean, it was just right after 9/11. And
yeah,
for
yeah.
yeah, and the prices were well under 1,000 for a round trip ticket. And I think I was probably the only non-Brazilian on that flight. Because Americans, usually when you have something like that happen, like, oh, I'm not gonna go anywhere,
No doubt, no
you know,
doubt. Yeah.
but Brazilians, they'll say, sem problema, no problem, you so they'll say, those lower
Team Claro.
yeah,
Yeah, man, of course.
isso,
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I got same
right,
attitude, man. Damn, it's
yeah,
good to talk to you, man. You know what? You mind if we have you on again, like right before the book comes out this summer, I can have you on again.
right,
You can actually hold it
yeah,
in
it'll
your
be cool.
hand and you can show that mug off.
What now?
I would like to have you on again right when you have the book coming out, man. I'd like to have you on again so you
Oh
can show
yeah.
people the finished product.
Yeah, it might not be like a physical book at first. I mean,
Oh,
but
I mean ebook. I mean
yeah,
ebook, of course. But you
yeah,
have like
ebook,
a
yeah,
photo of it or
like a
something.
Kindle.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
no doubt.
Oh yeah,
I would love to have you back on again, man.
yeah. I mean, it was awesome. Yeah,
I'm so glad
yeah. I
you
just got
did
to get
that.
to it.
Author Blake Hutchinson of the first episode of Writer's Block. Brother, thank you for coming on again, man. I
It was
really
a pleasure.
appreciate it. All right, peace, baby.
Peace.